I don't like the version Mark did where he was a rat bastard and threw my name into that.
I don't know. I thought that was hilarious, but whatever.
But it feels like that song does need to be just a skosh longer.
I'll get there. I'll get
Or we need a different song.
Okay.
This is true.
Also could be.
Do you know what? We might actually have some generic sound effects and rips and transitions that are the same for everybody, but there might be some unique to the host. So we'll have to work on that. So some unique to me, some unique to you, and some unique to Mark. Mark will be always overdoing it,
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Let's talk about some story time.
Yeah.
I've been away for a while. I'll kick this off. I was out in Florida.
Were you away?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Fuck you all. I was off in Florida doing Disney World. And when I say doing Disney World, I mean we did do Disney World. We did 5 days of Disney. We went to all of the parks. Ranking in order of favorites from least to best. Disney Hollywood Studios was my least favorite. Surprisingly sparse of rides. They had a lot of stuff going on construction wise, so they're building a lot of stuff, but just not a lot there.
They're building the new big Star Wars part there.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's more. The Star Warsy bit's a bit lame. We liked the shows because that's where there was the Indiana Jones shows outside where they sort of recreated scenes from the movie and the plane exploding. And is that the one that they have like the Poseidon Adventure, like pirates, like a pirate ship show?
They very well may. Now I'll just say this: being there with my special needs son, the shows don't really interest me.
I get that.
So especially all the 3D stuff is pretty much a no-go. So then it was like, all right, well, what can we do here beyond that? Toy Story Land was the win. However, we were there on a day that was effing hotter than hell, and so there's no shade at all in Toy Story Land. Apparently, they just decided not to plant trees anywhere. So that made for a tough time. But we rode the Doggy Diner roller coaster a few times. Had fun with that. I don't know if it's called Doggy Diner. It's Doggy something. It's the Slinky Dog. Anyway, so.
Oh yeah, that's
Epcot.
Yeah, that's new. Oh yeah, Epcot. Okay, yeah. So these are Disney parks. Okay, good. So one thing.
Epcot.
Yeah.
Like it. Mm-hmm. I do. It wasn't. It didn't have a ton of rides and attractions, but it was different. And and it was fun to be able to walk around and kind of do the tastes of different worlds and get the flavors of everything. So we actually did that the second half of the day because we bailed from Hollywood Studios around 4 o'clock. Went over to Epcot.
So did you stay for the fireworks at Epcot? Because they are absolutely fabulous around the lake. That is one of the best fireworks displays, I think, of all of the parks.
Yep. That was tremendous.
And did you see me in Mexico?
I'm sorry?
Did you see me in Mexico in Aztec Land?
I looked for you. I looked for you in Mexico. I did not see you there, so I was a little disappointed, to be honest. But I did see, some. I think they had some Aztec pyramid stuff going on there, and they had some
park.
Tequila with margaritas. That was the important thing, by the way.
Yeah, that's right. I remember getting one of those. The like beer tasters they had, like the different beers, and that big pastry thing. Monstrous pastry. I don't know what it was. Monsters. I don't know. A big juicy donut. It was great. Did you get Did you get one of the big turkey legs? Did you people walk around like cavemen?
I did not. No, I did not go the caveman route with the turkey legs. But speaking of turkey legs, we did go to Magic Kingdom.
Oh yeah,
and Magic Kingdom.
Up Collins Street.
Yeah, totally up Collins Street. Lots of rides. We rode every roller coaster in Magic Kingdom multiple times because we went through there. We went actually to that park 3 days, two full days, and then one kind of nighttime for the Halloween event.
You would have felt
so that was a lot of fun
on the Seven Dwarfs roller coaster. You would have been right at home then.
Yeah.
Greg.
Oh yeah.
Like don't be have a day off.
I'm just ignoring you, Robin. So Magic Kingdom was our kind of third best favorite, if you will. And then we finished out at Animal Kingdom and loved Animal Kingdom. What a great park. Mm-hmm. That was a real surprise. Went on a little safari adventure, saw a whole bunch of animals. And then Pandora was a really cool experience, just from the standpoint of it transforms from the daytime at nighttime. It takes on all of the glowy bits of the movie from Avatar.
Oh, I didn't know that. All right.
Yeah, so at nighttime, the downfall is, though, the park closes at 8 o'clock at night. So you only have about an hour where you actually get to see Pandora transform into this really kind of glowing other world.
I think was it Everest? What's the one with the abominable
Mount Everest.
Yeah, the broken tracks. That was good. And it has a tiki room as well.
That's a tiki room.
Tiki room.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
No, we just,
good trip.
We really enjoyed the time, though. It was a good trip. But
it is hard work. I said it before, it is, it's great. And you say, it's all, no problem, it's great, we all love it. But it is, you're absolutely exhausted at the end of the day. You do walk so much. And
you walked a ton.
There's no, even though you maybe had your cocktail and your bite of lunch, which is all pretty crappy food. None of the food in the parks is that fantastic.
Right.
You come home and you're wrecked. So, but I'm glad you had a good trip. It's good.
Yes, it was good. By the way, airplane bathrooms getting smaller and smaller, it seems, these days. And when you have a special needs child, that becomes problematic when you need to change a diaper. I'm just saying that right now, throwing that out there. That was an adventure. Just imagine me trying to change my son inside one of those tiny-ass bathrooms. Yeah. Didn't go exactly the way I envisioned in my head when I was like, I can do this.
He's a tall kid.
He's a tall kid.
I
feel bad for people that have infants. I mean, those bathrooms are dinky. They're not big at all. So anyway, that's a different conversation for a different day. But yeah, Disney, hot, humid, fun. Probably don't need to go back anytime soon. But I enjoyed my time there. It was good. And the last thing to touch on. Last night went to see A Star Is Born. This is the new remake, the original. It's with Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. This movie is really, really good.
Okay,
so
did it need to be remade?
It's going to win awards.
Yeah,
say it again.
Did it need to be remade? I mean, is it as good as the original with Big Nose?
I think it's better.
Barbara Streisand is fantastic. Chris Christopherson.
Yeah.
Barbara Streisand.
But wasn't it Barbara Streisand? Yeah. It was.
It puts a modern spin onto it, so I think it becomes relevant again. Because if you go back to the previous movie, I mean, it's not going to be relatable because you're listening to these people talking about becoming stars, and you're like, well, that person's not going to be a star. That music's not today's music. This made it relevant to today, and the acting is just off the charts good. Bradley Cooper not only is in the movie, but he directed. This is his first directed movie. I think Clint Eastwood was originally supposed to direct this, and he passed this to Bradley Cooper. Yes. So he did a fantastic job. So highly recommend. See it in the theaters, though, because even though this kind of movie I would normally say you don't need to see in the theaters, the music, when they're in concert and they're playing, you feel the music. It was good. And so to me, the experience of being in the theater was actually really worth it. So there's that.
Cool.
All right. Yeah, that's enough of me. How about Kim? Kim, what have you been dealing with this past week?
Rain, and lots of it. Apparently Mother Nature has decided, since, we didn't hardly get any rain at all during the summer, she's just decided, you know what, fuck it, I'm opening the floodgates, and you assholes are getting rain all fall. So, yeah, rain.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to build an ark. So, if anybody's interested,
You're taking reservations on the ark?
I'll be taking reservations, because I have a feeling we're going to need it before it's all over and done with. So, other than that, it's been fairly boring. I saw Tony this week. He got off the school bus here, and of course he was happy to see me, because every time he sees me, even though he just saw me the day before, he acts like he hasn't seen me in like 6 months. So that's always good.
That's nice.
Yeah, a little fart head. But other than that, it's been pretty normal around here. So
okay,
normal and boring.
Excellent. Normal and boring is not the worst thing in the world. The rain does suck.
Yes.
We had a bit of rain, and it just kind of circle back. It hit probably 11:30 at night, and I was in the middle of playing Tomb Raider at the time. I had my headphones on, but I was in a jungle scene, and the rain was so loud outside. I was actually hearing it I thought I was actually hearing the game, like it was raining in the game. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, holy crap, this is getting really intense. I feel even more so the sound is even, more realistic. And then I see my wife out of the corner of my eye popping up, and she's like waving at me, and I'm like, what? And she's like, do you hear that? And I'm like, hear what? And then I pop my earphones off, and the rain is just downpouring outside. I'm like, oh shit, that's the rain.
4D.
Yep. Just me being oblivious to the real world.
Oh, that's brilliant. Brilliant.
But yeah, so we had a nice day of rain, and then it stopped, and it is beautiful outside right now. Probably low 70s, sunny.
Nice. I miss that.
See, this is the time of the year that people like Nicole and I hate you very, very much, because now all fall or autumn has arrived. All the leaves are turning here dramatically, really quickly, because it's got a real cold snap. The London people, the southern of England, are still in the warmth. Not just as warm,
right.
But just it's cold here. It's jumper time. It's heating on. I was going around bleeding radiators today to get the heat throughout the house, because it's went cold. I brought a jumper out to work. So yeah. So yeah, you and your bloody climate.
I miss it.
Real quick shout out to Gunslinger 1983, Gunslinger X 1983. He is in the chat right now, I believe. And Empower 343 had stopped by. Just wanted to say have a great show.
Hey, Matt.
He's jumping off to go to bed. So thank you for that. All right. Let's see. We've got Kim. We've got Nicole. Mm-hmm. Well, Nicole, have we heard what's going on with you? Let's talk about what's going on with you.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm trying to put up Halloween decorations, so they're all over the counter behind me in the kitchen.
Right.
Shit, Halloween.
Fuck me. Forgot I had stuff. I'm like, I bought these. Oh, and I bought this, and I bought that. Oh, and I bought that. And I'm like, holy crap, I bought a lot of stuff. Because my kids were too young, and I didn't want to scare the shit out of them. Now that they're older and they're like really into it, we keep adding to the pile. And all of our skeletons have names.
Okay.
Yes, we've named every one of them, which we find hilarious. Everybody else thinks we're weird, but that's okay, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to get that settled, and then I got to turn right around and take it all down, and we'll be doing not necessarily Christmas, but like I got smart this year, and I put garland up front, but put bows that are Halloween colors on there, and then I can like the purple and orange and green and black. And then I can take them down and leave the orange ones up for fall. And then I can take the bows down and put the Christmas bows up. So I only had to put the garland up one time instead of putting an orange garland up or whatever and then taking it down for Christmas. Green garland, different colored bows.
Hey, there you go.
Yes.
Okay.
Trying to be smart. Why are we looking at weird stuff on Robin's picture?
Well, like
I'm just curious. It looks like he wants to hang up the call. And why the hell is my head so big? That's the other thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like Antor.
Okay, so that was very odd. I opened up my settings screen, and apparently it made everything shift on Robin's screen. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, that's what's happened to me. Yeah, it's very, very weird. Yeah. So things we'll have to work on. If we could be here before the podcast starts, 15 minutes before it happens, it gives us an opportunity to get things set up nicely.
Robin, let's not lie. It probably needs to be about a half hour.
Yeah, half an hour.
True, and if Windows was cooperative.
Yeah.
Because I my computer at 236.
I have that sound effect. Okay, so like tonight, I just before we came out here, the new Doctor Who started. So I'm going to talk about a quick bit of TV. And Doctor Who, as you know, has always been a bloke. And
don't mess it up for me.
And this time, this is just the trailer. And this time, Doctor Who is a girl. And it's pretty different. And it's very enjoyable. And
how did they change Doctor Who to a girl?
Well, you have to watch it to find out.
Doctor Who changes bodies every now and again, so
okay.
And he has no control over, or she has no control over what body. And the funniest line in, which is in the trailers, which is in the trailers as well, is, hey, ma'am, what are you doing? And why did you call me ma'am? Because you're a woman. Oh, I'm a woman, which is really cool. So yeah. So that looks like it's got a lot of potential. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of that. So yeah, that's that.
I'm glad because I was done with Peter Capaldi.
Do you know what? I stopped watching.
Yeah, me too. Like I watched like 2 or 3 episodes, and I was like, I just can't see him as the Doctor, especially since he was a Roman character in one of the episodes, and that's the only way I could see him.
Yeah, no, I didn't like him. I'm sorry.
And
maybe it's because of his older series where he used to curse an awful lot. And I know there's nothing wrong with people cursing, but I just sort of got used to that in the old episodes or series. And I never warmed to him as a Doctor.
I never could get into Doctor Who. I don't know what it is. Not for me.
I like the 9th Doctor.
The 9th Doctor. There's been 9 Doctors?
There's been more than that. But
she's 13.
Yeah.
All right.
This is cool. And it's funny, the circle comes sort of full circle because she was in a series called Broadchurch.
Yes.
And the nice little skinny Doctor, what's his name? Nick Park? No.
Tennant? Was it?
David Tennant.
But I'm like, really?
Yeah, so David Tennant played a policeman
and
in
Kim,
that.
you like Christopher Eccleston.
Yes.
Yeah, he was quite good too. And she played sort of the mother of a child that had been kidnapped or killed. So now it's sort of full circle that she's now Doctor Who and he was, and yeah, that's kind of groovy. Okay, so this week the Man Cave went up a notch this week. So the screen that I'm looking at right now, I went and got a nice new Samsung UHD HD screen. So I'm looking at that right now, and I've got my old Samsung circular bendy screen here and another one over here. It's class. And part of that was to do with, I suppose, Forza Horizon as well, because I wanted to see the gorgeousness of it in that. And also because of the cross-play between PC and Xbox. So, yeah. Now, I've seen that my PC is only capable of really running it at 30 frames. High settings, but 30 frames, and it should be 60. Sorry, Nicole, you had more to say. I'm sorry, I apologize.
I'm done.
Sorry, we were talking about Doctor Who.
Me and Kim are having fun. Go.
Oh, okay. So I might have to invest in a graphics card for the PC. Anyway, so I moved the Scorpio out here. So I had the original Xbox out here in the Man Cave, and I had the main Scorpio in the main house. So I've moved it out here now. So I've ordered a 4K HDMI switch. Yeah. Okay. So I can go to the TV way behind me, and to the monitor that I'm sitting in front of, so I can play Xbox here, and then the little projector that I bought, the little mini 1080p projector. Right. I've ordered a bracket for it to hang from the ceiling of the wall, which will be here in a few days as well. And it can project a nice 6-foot screen for the kids behind me in 1080p. But this little switch box will be able to instead of swapping cables around all the time, it'll be a nice little switch box. So so I'm taking it to a new level. I need a better sound system out here. I used to have a good amp out here with good speakers, and that's lacking to get the full nice cinema thing. So yeah, it's been fun. The monitor. Apart from the monitor, I'm not spending that much. Just wee bits and pieces. Do you know what I've really discovered this week as well? This thing.
I don't know.
Okay, so that little thing.
He doesn't have an off switch.
No, I don't. Just chatting. That little thing called Pinterest. Okay, you know Pinterest. You go for ideas and stuff like that. There.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so this thing called Etsy, ETSY, and Etsy is
culinary.
No.
It's people doing their own crafts.
Yeah, there's designer stuff, handmade, short run, craft houses, everything from artwork to furniture, lots of fuck you, Nicole.
I was commenting on Greg's comments.
Lots and lots of gaming stuff, because I heard some of the guys talking about some retro look, getting a controller of Etsy, a retro controller for an old console, and I thought, well, I'll go and find that out. So I've ordered some bits and pieces from it already. I ordered something myself. My phone case bust for my Samsung S9, so I've ordered a nice leather new case with my initials in leather embossed in the back of it, which might be nice.
The initials, not self-intelligent at all.
No. Just in case I lose it, or anyway. So Etsy, ETSY. If you've never found that out, sometimes Nicole.
I have a quick question.
Yeah,
I have a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys remember there was a movie came out? It had John Candy, I think, was in it.
Yeah.
God, the guy's totally escaping right now, but it was Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah. Do
you remember the moment they were in the elevator and he turns to John Candy and he's like, "You're like this doll with a string on it. You just keep pulling the string and just keep yakety, yakety, yakety."
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's it. I love you, Robin. We're totally giving you a hard time. No, it's awesome. You've got your man cave going. I love all the stuff that you've been adding into it. To be perfectly honest, it has been. We've seen it transform. So it has turned into a very impressive, and quite honestly, makes me jealous to see it every time, man cave. So you're doing well. You're doing it right. Robin's not talking anymore.
Nah, you've done it, Greg. You broke him.
Yeah.
Way to go.
I want to play.
He's just going to talk in sound effects.
You are one pathetic loser.
All right. Does anybody else have anything they want to talk about before we talk about games, video games?
I feel like playing computer games. Today I feel like playing computer games.
All right. Kim,
Yes.
do me a favor. Let's talk about the monthly freebies real fast. Since we are basically at the beginning of the month, let's go through it for everybody in case they have missed them so far.
Alrighty, we have Games with Gold for this month. For the Xbox One, we have Overcooked. That is available October 1st through the 31st. We have Victor Vran, also available on the 16th through November 15th on the Xbox One. For your Xbox 360 backwards compatible, we have Stuntman Ignition, available October 1st to the 15th. Hitman Blood Money, available the 16th through the 31st. And of course, like I said, those are backwards compatible. Then for our PlayStation Plus, for the PS4, we have Friday the 13th, the game, Laser League, I almost got it in the bridge confused there for a second, Laser League, The Bridge, which is also on PS3 and Vita, Rocket Birds 2 Evolution, Laser Bridge, yeah, that'll be next month, Rocket Birds Evolution, also on the Vita, 2064, Read-Only Memories. Also on the Vita. For the PlayStation 3, we have Master Reboot. We also have The Bridge. On the Vita, of course, we have Rocket Birds 2, and there's The Bridge again, Evolution on the PS4. We have 2064, Read Only Memories, and The Bridge. Jeez, Murphy's The Bridge is everywhere.
The bridge is coming.
Or just breathing hard, we're not sure. And we don't know what our Twitch Prime games are, apparently, so I can't remember.
We might actually know. We've got the Prime Loot.
Yeah.
Well, these are not. Let's see. I pulled it up. So it looks like Sonoma is going to be one of the free games for games with Prime.
Mm-hmm.
The System Shock, the Enhanced Edition, will also be one of the free games.
That's a classic game.
Yeah. Then there's some loot, and I think those are the only two games. So it's some loot for Battlegrounds, there's some loot for Overwatch, there's some loot for Rainbow Six Siege, and Sanitarium. Sanitarium is the other free game, and actually there's one more, Darksiders. Those are all the free games. So Darksiders, Sanitarium, Sonoma, and System Shock Enhanced Edition. All for October.
No bridge.
Claim those yeah, and the bridge, and the bridge is everywhere. Okay. let's talk about video games.
Sure.
I'm going to go to my hero of the moment, Robin Tate. Robin, let's talk about what you've been playing, my friend.
Goodness. Yeah, just as I popped this up because it was one that I didn't find earlier, I want to talk about a game called Figment.
Figment or Fragment?
Figment. And that's why I couldn't find it. Yeah, I know that because I don't even know what I'm playing.
Okay.
So, full disclosure, Figment. Let's get the Figment. When I was at EGX, wherever I am, there's the camera.
Right there. Figment, gotcha.
Company called, I was chatting to these guys from Bedtime Digital Games, and they gave me a code after chatting. So, full disclosure, I got this free. So, it's on the PC. It is coming to Xbox. It is coming to PlayStation as well. And I gotta say, this is absolutely gorgeous. It is it's
a unique art style.
Platformer, adventure game, puzzles. So the scenario is it starts off and you sound like you're in a car and there's a car crash and somehow or another you're in a coma or something is going on. You're that little character and you curse a bit like, fucking hell, that guy stole my fucking memories. I'm going to get him, and bastards. And so you're in a sort of a nightmare-y dream world, and this little bird flies along with you, and you have the puzzles, and it's really, really cute. It's all hand-drawn. The puzzles are not really, really, really hard, but Limbo-esque, that sort of level. But it's so colourful, it's so well drawn, it's so well polished. And it's they call it like a musical adventure, a musical adventure game. The music and sounds in it are just absolutely fabulous. It doesn't cost very much. It's been out for about a year on PC, but I've thoroughly enjoyed it. So there's a bit of combat in it. You swipe with a sort of a little sword. You see this little guy running around these staircases and pencils at the moment. But there's one of the things I was playing a little bit earlier on today was like a piano, like an old organ that you had to get it going, like an air organ, a pipe organ, and you had to play certain keys to open up certain gates. And then there's a little train that chumps around with you, a little train track that you have to move it around. But it's lovely. It's enchanting, I would say. So if you like this sort of game and you see it on the screen, a little puzzle adventure game. What was that name? What was the game? You build a wall and Bastion. Yeah. So it reminds me
the Donald Trump game.
It reminds me a little bit of Bastion in the look of it, but even better than Bastion, and musically and sound wise even better than Bastion. So
okay. All right.
If you want to grab it on Steam, or hold on for a while, or just be pardon.
Do you know how much it costs again?
I don't know. No, I can't imagine being an awful lot. But just keep it in mind because it's not that far away from Xbox and PlayStation, and it would definitely be one of the ones to pick up. So
cool.
And it's Figment, right? That's the name.
Figment. Figment. Figment.
Okay.
Very, very good.
Excellent.
So what about somebody else?
All right. So we'll shift around a little bit. We'll come back to you, Robin, in a moment. Nicole, let's talk about something you've been playing.
Kim's like, what was that?
Yeah, they're like, wait, what? Oh,
Yes. Okay, so played a little bit of State of Decay with Roberto again. We've decided that game is not a single-player game at all. Because you can't really do a lot of that crap on your own. Otherwise, everybody whines, moans, and complains. And so we're playing it together, waiting on other stuff to download. And then he just got his Xbox, so he's like, I got Gears. Let's play Gears. So we played Gears 4 because he got the Game Pass.
Okay, right.
And he had asked about it, and I recommended it, and he's got it, and he's in love with it. He thinks it's awesome, and it is, because then all of us can play more games together, like the whole community. So we just finished playing through Gears 4. There were a couple of deaths because some people didn't have enough coffee or weren't paying attention. Whatever.
We won't name names. Not naming names. Right?
No, actually, he died. It was funny. There was one episode where he just died like every 5 seconds.
Been there.
He's like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. And today we're playing. I died like 3 times in a row. And he's like, it's okay, I'm like, no, it's not. This is my game. It's not okay. But it's just all from my stupidity. But we had a lot of fun with it. And I downloaded, but haven't been able to play yet, Forza Horizon 4. So I'll be able to comment on that more. But I am really looking forward to it. Y'all know I can't drive for shit.
Me neither. Don't feel bad.
It's the right game for that. We'll definitely talk about it in a moment. But yeah.
Yeah. And I know that I will probably never be allowed to play with Robin because he hates me so much for how bad I drive.
No,
that's not true. No.
He drives with
just
me.
Kidding.
I purposely hit Robin all the time, so it's okay.
It's different. It's Forza Horizon 4 is a different
Robin's
game.
gone again, by the way. I don't know what Greg hit, but Robin's gone again, so I'm gonna blame Greg.
Sure.
And then Kim and I, so I'll let Kim say her part after, but Kim and I are playing a game on our phones called Rise of Civilization that Phil actually got us into.
Yep.
Blame Phil.
It's Phil's fault.
It is totally 110% Phil's fault. Because he's like, oh, I'll make us an alliance and blah, 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 blah. And then
He leaves.
he left. No, he's still in the alliance, but he left being the leader and gave it to me because he said I knew because I was bossy.
I looked at this, and this just looked like too much like Clash of Clans. And I thought, oh
It's
no,
not.
I am not going to get sucked into that again.
It's more like Age of Empires.
Yeah, it's more like Age of Empires. And then if you ever played Kingdom of...
Camelot.
Was it Kingdom of Camelot?
Yeah, Kingdoms of Camelot. The one on Facebook?
Yes, Kingdoms of Camelot. Yeah, it is like very much like that too. So we went from cock to rock.
There you go.
But anyway, so we're playing this game. We have a French alliance on our west side and a French alliance that totally destroyed whatever that was on our east side.
Sorry,
and they're trying to get us.
Can I wind you back a bit? Can I wind you back a bit? Tell me, I see it on here because it just looks like Clash of Clans. So what do you do in this game? Do you build bases or what's different from this than Clash of Clans?
You have leaders, commanders, and each one commands a different part of your army or different section. Some of them are really good at gathering resources. Some of them are really good at being cavalry. You attack the barbarians. You can attack other people. You work together as an alliance. Certain resources will help out the whole alliance, whereas other resources will only help you, depending on where you get them from. It's not the same as Clash. I mean, other than the building of your own little fort area, you don't get.
Seems.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say it seems like it has that same though addictive kind of quality that Clash of Clans had.
Oh, I'm not saying it doesn't, because hours in there are pretty deep. I have a lot of hours in that game.
Yeah, I went through withdrawal coming away from Clash of Clans, and it just seems like that. When it got to the point when I was checking it at least 20 times a day, last thing at night, first thing in the morning, I didn't want to get there again. And I actually felt a sense of relief when I deleted it.
No.
No, because this is like more like work. So the second morning, I'll make sure everybody's cool.
Yeah.
No, not that kind of work, but like fun work. You have the little girl that guides you at first and goes through, and then you have daily stuff that you should get done that helps move your your city along. And then, like I said, you help your alliance. So there's just like before, there's chat in there, and you can chat either globally or with your alliance or with other alliances. Like I said, I'm currently trying to talk to the 2 French alliances on either side of me, and my French sucks and their English sucks, so that's been fun.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got another guy that's just north of us that keeps coming and scouting, so one of the alliances says they're going to destroy us, and they probably are. But hey, it's a game. It'll be fun.
That's free.
We'll just rebuild.
Free.
Yes.
Free is good.
Totally. Free as a bird.
There you go.
Yep.
I am now sitting as far away as possible to try and get myself into the picture somewhat normally, but it's not working.
I play at the edge, like I moved my camera away. Ooh, and I just broke something.
Uh-oh.
Oh, and I upset my motion detection on my camera.
All right.
Camera.
Kim.
Yes.
I want you to talk about Banner Saga 2, and we'll save Forza Horizon 4 for the very last.
Okay.
So this way Robin will kind of know the order. We'll talk about Banner Saga 2 here, and then I'll talk about my first game, and then Forza Horizon 4.
Okay.
So we can all have a little input.
Alrighty. Yeah, Banner Saga 2. I've played a few more chapters. I don't know if I'm close to winning or not, or beating it, I guess I should say. It's kind of more of the same. Only I've lost some more people, and as in they've died or they've wandered off, and I don't know what happened to them. And my best buddy that has been tagging along with me has now decided to leave me with a couple other people. So it's kind of a sad day right now.
I believe that's called poor leadership.
Probably. I have to agree with you there, but you know what? I got stuck with it, and I'm doing the best I can. So goddamn it, But no, it's good. It's kind of emotional because you kind of get invested in these people. But it's it is what it is. So who knows? Maybe by this time next week I'll have it beaten. I kind of hope. But who knows? Because it is kind of depressing. When you start out with this big group of people and you go and do these things, and next thing you know, you end up being half wiped out because of some gigantic serpent. So, or whatever. It's kind of depressing because then you're like, well, the old man that was with me before is now gone because he died. So.
But this is good. I mean, you're saying it's depressing, but to me, that's the quality of this game.
True. That's true. Yes.
These kinds of turn-based strategy games where you're leveling up these characters and you start really relying on them.
Mm-hmm.
When they die, it's impactful. It does it. It impacts your game. It impacts what you can do.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. So I'm chugging along with that, and so hopefully I can get it done and start the next one and finish it out, because that way they talk. The third one is just as good as the other two. So I'm kind of interested to see how they all wrap it up and who lives and who doesn't, and what happens.
Now, let me ask you a quick question. So when you're making choices in this game,
mm-hmm.
Does it feel like, regardless of the choices you're making, that you're going to kind of progress along towards an ending that they already kind of have in mind for you? Or do you feel like there's multiple endings? And I don't recall if there's multiple endings to this
mm-hmm.
game, so that's why I'm asking. But, is it something that branches and potentially can go in a different direction? Or is it kind of like, you make some choices, and in the middle of the game, it's going to feel like it's branching away, and then
mm-hmm.
eventually everything funnels back into the one ending so it can carry on into Banner Saga 3?
Yeah, I kind of feel like it's going to have multiple, I think, endings, just from the mere fact, like the first one that I played, you could play it where one character either died, or you could play it where he survived. I think I played it where he ended up dying. So that, that apparently is going to affect the ending. So I think there's going to be multiple endings depending on who you have left after. I mean, who's still leading the group of people, who maybe took off with another group, yada, 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 and maybe what you decided to do, whether you decided to save the town or you decided to roll on by because you thought, I've got enough people, I can't take care of anymore, that sort of thing. So, yeah, I think there'll be multiple endings depending on what you picked, and what you decided on, and like I said, who died and who didn't, and yada, yada, yada. So.
I love your new nickname is going to be yada yada yada.
Indeed. Indeed.
Indeed. Yep.
It's better than some other nicknames I've had, but I digress. So.
Okay. All right. Well, we look forward to you finishing that one out, and obviously it sounds like Banner Saga 3 is on the horizon.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, I guess that's me then. I'll talk a little bit about Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Fired that up this past week, this game, I had mixed feelings about it coming into it. Partly because I saw some of the review scores, which it was getting good reviews, but not like great reviews across the board. So typical where you have some decent scores, then some a little bit lower scores, and then some really high end quality scores, and so I didn't know what to expect. I'll just put it that way. So I came into the game trying to set my expectations low, and I've been really pleasantly surprised so far. This game is gorgeous to look at. First and foremost, it really looks beautiful. Playing it, on the X in 4K, it is a absolutely stunningly beautiful game. The other thing that I think they really nailed well, and again, I'm only about maybe a quarter of the way into the game. Hello, dog. That's all right. The dog agrees with me. You never
Obviously.
know. But about a quarter of the way into the game so far, story is good. Although, kind of with every Tomb Raider story, I feel like it gets a little convoluted with the Trinity thing and kind of what she's going after and what they're going after. But there's some great character interaction moments in this game, and they're handled in cutscenes. And there is a moment in this game where Lara is having a conversation with her best friend, and I forgot the gentleman's name. He's the big Simone-like looking dude, and it's kind of one of those awkward moments where I'm sure we've all been there, where you're having a fight with a friend or a spouse, and basically it's gotten to the quiet time where nobody's talking to one another. You're trying to kind of find a way to break the ice or have a conversation again. You don't quite know how to do it, and it's just that awkward moment. And they capture the facial expression so well, leading into that moment, and you just feel the awkwardness. And I was really impressed by this cutscene, because to me I immediately I knew that feeling. I've been there. I've been. Okay, I'm trying to figure out a way to say and break something, break the ice and smooth things over a little bit. I'm sorry, was that?
It's not you, it's me.
A little bit of that. More so, it was me. I screwed up, and now how do I kind of approach this and kind of make things right again and smooth it over? Huh. So that all aside, getting into the game, one of the things I love this game did, and I don't recall the previous Tomb Raider game doing it, and this is actually one of the first games I've seen do this that I know of, at least, and that is within the difficulty settings. They have an overall difficulty, which is kind of the standard beginner, normal. They give it different names, but it's a fairly straightforward difficulty setting. But then they give you the option of changing out the combat difficulty, the exploration difficulty, and the puzzle difficulty. And so how that impacts the game is, even if you have it on, say, normal difficulty, it'll set everything to normal, but then you can go in and change combat, say, to easy. Let's say you're not good at shooter games.
Sweet.
So the combat, when you get into the combat, becomes super easy, but the rest of the game still maintains its kind of difficulty. So the puzzles aren't going to be super easy just because you switch that out.
Yeah, I heard you talking about this, that you switched off the white walls and stuff like that there.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So I changed the exploration difficulty to hard and kept everything else at normal. So switching it exploration to hard, normally in these types of third-person action games, Uncharted, Last of Us, they always give you hints of where it is you need to jump to, where handholds are. They'll have either blue, blue coloring, or white coloring, or yellow, depending upon the game. And when you set it to hard, it gets rid of all of that. It also gets rid of the instinct vision. So as you're walking around in normal difficulty, you can hit your instinct vision, and it will make everything glow that's collectible. So if there's a plant that you want to collect herbs from, it'll glow gold. Turning it to hard, that disappears. So you still can find the plants by seeing the color of the plant. So certain plants are blue, certain are red. Also, loot boxes no longer highlight gold. You just have to find them naturally in the environment.
So have you found that it is better? Or, like,
it has made this game so immersive. So it's not even fun.
This to me is like my racing games when you switch off the line.
Right.
So you switch the line off.
Turning off the racing line.
All of a sudden you see so much more of the circuit and the surroundings. So okay. Cool.
Yes. You're no longer paying attention to the glowy bits or the racing line is in the racing game side of it.
Yeah.
You're now paying attention to the environment. You're paying attention to, for the analogy for you, Robin, you're paying attention to the track and the signs that you need to look for to make your apex turns, that kind of thing.
Now, is it that much? Okay, yes, it does look beautiful on the screen. It does. But I mean, is it just not more of the same? Is it just, but then again, like a lot of sequels and stuff like that there, what do you expect? So yeah, I mean, it does have more of the same feel. And so that is the one knock you can give it, is that it's giving you a lot of the same tropes that you had in the previous Tomb Raider games. So there's going to be some combat. There's going to be, Laura getting into her gunfights. There's going to be Lara getting into exploration. This game feels much more about exploration and puzzle solving than the combat so far. Combat has happened, but it's not nearly as front and center as the last game was. Okay.
The last game, combat was pretty much continuous and often. Here, combat so far has been much more limited. Now, that could just be because of where I'm at in the game. But I will just say this. There's a moment within the jungles, the jungle exploration. There's a boss fight. I'm not going to say what the boss fight is. I'm not going to say what, kind of anything around it other than
it's a sheep.
The sound effects were tremendous. They use the sound effects just to great success in putting you on edge and having you looking constantly around you and knowing there's danger nearby, but not knowing exactly where it's going to be coming from.
So unlike Assassin's Creed, Greg, they're channeling
yes.
you down a route. It's not sort of big open worldly thing. It's still that, because I like that in Uncharted and this here.
Right. So they still have the kind of open environments that you're exploring through, and there's several paths to go about going about it. But you still do have kind of a goal area that you're going to get to. So I kind of equated out to more of Halo back in the early days when Halo, you went into these big environments, and obviously they were combat environments, but ultimately you were trying to make it to the end of that environment to get to a door to progress the story and move into the next area. That's kind of what's happening with this so far.
Sadly, Greg, I get the feeling that this isn't going to sell terribly well. Not because it's a bad game, but because it's swamped with Assassin's Creed, with Forza, with Red Dead coming in a week or so. There's just so much.
And I would agree.
Stuff.
I think it's not going to perform nearly as well as it probably should have or could have. It will take some probably Black Friday sales. This game I think is going to be a game that probably has some legs.
Yeah.
People will pick it up down the road.
Indeed.
But you are going to enjoy it when you do. So far, super impressed by this game, and would definitely recommend.
Excellent.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be a player. It feels like a Christmas game now, doesn't it? It feels like this is the game you play around Christmas time.
Yeah. I wouldn't argue with that.
Okay, cool.
All right. Well, that leaves one last game to talk about.
Ooh,
boy.
A little title, racing title. We probably want to forget it. Maybe we shouldn't even talk about this game.
Let's skip it.
Yeah, we could skip it. I don't know. But Robin, what do you think? Should we just skip this game?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's crap. Okay.
No, this is the game everybody on my gaming friends list seems to be playing of late. Forza Horizon 4. It seems to have taken over everybody's game time. There's so much to say about this game. I will get out some of the quasi-criticism of it, and that it's more racing.
Yeah, okay.
No. I'm just getting out of the way because I don't think it's necessarily justified or fair. But it is more racing. So if you don't like racing games, obviously this is not going to be a game for you. But if you like... No, Robin, to be fair, if you don't like racing games, whether they be, fun, cartoony racing or simulation racing, this isn't going to be a game for you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This game is all about driving.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not well, it's not a sim racer, so it is very, very
Thank God.
It's very, very approachable. If you wanted it to be sim, you can, but it is very, very arcadey, and very much eye candy. Okay, so carry on.
Yeah. So Forza Horizon 4, it's set in the UK in quotes, but from my understanding now is it's mostly Scotland.
Scotland, north of England, Cotswolds, places like that. Yeah, but most of it's Scotland, with a focus on Edinburgh.
All right. It is a gorgeous game. The big innovation, for this game is the seasons, and in that, basically, every week, once you get through the tutorial section, mind you, so the tutorial section is actually fairly long. The tutorial will walk you through each of the 4 seasons, and once you're out of the 4 seasons in the tutorial, then you kind of fall in line with the main game that's ongoing. Every week, the seasons will change for everybody.
Yeah.
So, if you're driving in the summer 1 week, the next week, everybody that's past the tutorial section will be driving in fall.
And very, very much, especially winter, really does change up. The circuit that you drove in the summer is definitely not in the winter because it's extreme. Winter we don't have in the UK. Lakes do not freeze over that you could drive a car on, but they do in this game. So it's very, very cool. There's so much to it. There's so much depth to this. So much to do.
Right.
And the racing for me at the moment hasn't even been a big part of it. So the things that are familiar from before, driving around and filling in all the roads. Filling in, it's like a colouring book, or all of the little signs, collecting all of those. That's there.
Yep.
But this it's very, very much focused on community and interaction with multiplayer things. So once you unlock that, the 4 seasons, Vivaldi, here we go. There's this thing called Forzathon Live. Now, Forzathon before was sort of events that you had to get in for racing to, a championship rated stuff like Rocket League, and you're rated for being a really cool player. Well, Forzathon is just fun stuff. So in Destiny, there was these community events. So there was like an alarm went up and everybody went to the one location and you've done a whole thing. It's like that, but with silly car stuff. So that's pretty new and very, very well implemented.
Right, and they still have the big event type races, racing against a hovercraft. That's the first one, so that's not going to be a surprise to anybody that's been in the videos.
And there's the Flying Scotsman, the train, and those things are going on around the world all the time. There are sheep running around and chickens and deer and all manner of things. The graphics are just absolutely beautiful. Nicole, when we were in Edinburgh, we walked down over the bridge and we walked up this big hill, and there was a big set of stairs, and it was like 150 steps. Stairs. But we walked up the hill instead of the stairs. You can drive down that road, that little curly road, and those stairs are there. And I'm going, Nicole and I was on, and I remember Nicole going, I know I'm going to stairs.
I was not about to hit 150 stairs. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so you can drive. There's some very, very noticeable locations in Edinburgh. I've never driven in real life, or never could drive down the Royal Mile in Edinburgh at 200 miles an hour, but you can do it in this game. And you can buy Edinburgh Castle, which is kind of cool.
Boy.
And there's also lots of nods. and crossover. Now, I haven't seen the Sea of Thieves stuff, so some of the there's a lot more Avatar-y stuff. So this time you can dress up your character. I know it's silly, but it's fun in between when games are loading or when you won a race and your character appears. So there's been some very, very odd get-ups, Greg. There's been men with with beards and miniskirts on and
oh dear,
yellow willies. All sorts of weird and wonderful stuff. But I've seen this crossover like with Sea of Thieves. There's Sea of Thieves horns. You can get, and I'm sure there's maybe some Sea of Thieves nods. There's a fantastic thing about Halo. I don't even done it yet, but the Halo.
Don't spoil it. Yeah,
no, I'm not going to.
Have not done it yet.
Beautiful. There's a real nod to Halo. I'm not going to say it. You'll find it when you unlock the seasons. It'll appear on your map, and you can go and do it. And it made me smile. It's like about a 5 or 6 minute level, and I smiled all the way through it. Just brilliant. Just super. So Forza Horizon 3 was brilliant, and I was wondering, could they make it better? And they have.
Yeah, I think they have. I like the fact that in this game, and Kim, we definitely, I'm going to turn this over to you real quickly after I make this comment to kind of get some of your feedback, because I know you dabbled a little. But I like the fact that there's a lot more destructibility in the environments, whereas in previous Forza games, there often were a lot of trees and or fences that were unbreakable. And in this game, those are much less. Yeah. So you're not finding yourself hitting things constantly, stopping your momentum when you get a little off course or whatever. It allows you also to go cross country a lot easier. So I really appreciate that kind of easing, if you will, on the game, because that certainly it made it more challenging in Forza Horizon 3, because there were just once in a while these little trees that you would think, okay, my car's going to smash through that thing, and it stops you dead in your tracks, and you're just like, okay.
Still happens a bit if you get a big tree, but most of the trees are done. So, and there's very, very few walls that are unbreakable, and the sound that those lovely stone walls make when you crumble them, and they still the stones roll off your bonnet. That's very, very, very nice.
So Kim,
yes,
let's hear your impressions. Forza Horizon 4 from somebody that's not a big racer.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it, to be honest. I'm not a big racer. I used to play like Need for Speed a lot and do stuff like that, so I'm definitely not the simulation racer type person. I'm like, if there's not like a landscaping achievement, I'm gonna be pissed because I'll have it.
There is.
I'm not going to say I can't keep it between the lines, but more often than not, I'm in them little brick walls, and I am throwing them damn rocks as high as you can throw them, and I'm, plowing down every light pole and tree in my way. So, but it's fun, I don't feel, I felt bad because the first time I played it, I didn't realize that I wasn't actually playing against people. So I come up, and I think I smacked Robin like once, and I smacked Filthy like 3 times, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. And then I thought, wait a minute. They're not actually here. That's their little, whatever. That's not actually them, because I was waiting for angry text messages from people going, you just knocked me out of a race, or you just hit me head on, or you just T-boned me, or whatever, and nothing happened. So,
yeah, they brought back drivatars for the game. So that's once you race in the game for a while, the game kind of learns your driving behaviors, and then. You will appear in other people's games. So, down the road...
depending how you drive in your own game, it's how aggressive you are against other people.
I will look like a drunken moron, just so we're all clear. The one in the Dodge Charger fishtailing up it, that's me. So, just so we're good. But yeah, it's fun. Like I said, I hadn't really played one before. I played a little Dirt, and it's kind of the same thing, I think. So, I mean, it's been fun. You can go across country, like you said, and you find little spots. Like the other day, I found one where it was little, like, I don't know what they call them, beauty locations or whatever it is. I found one of those the other day. So, if you don't like the simulation racers, or you're not, like, a very good driver like me, you might actually enjoy this, because it is kind of fun. Yeah. And you get to see things you probably never saw before. Like, I can't see myself ever going to Scotland anytime soon. You never know. But
It's beautiful. It is gorgeous that way.
It is.
Yeah.
There's also going to be lots of stuff. When we get up a wee bit as well, you can do like 6-on-6 multiplayer as well, Greg, which is going to be fun. And then we haven't even touched on the King of the Hill sub games and all of those infection and all of that stuff, which is that's all there as well. So I think and they're going to be popping out lots of extra stuff. Now, can we talk about some of the negatives or some of the things that maybe just aren't as
Before you guys do that, I have a question.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
Okay, with all the positives, one of the positives is the clubs.
Yes.
Right.
What level do you have to be at to join a club?
20, roughly.
Do you have to be at level 20 to join the club, or do you have to be level 20 to join multiplayer races? But I think you can join the club pretty much once you get out of the basic tutorial. Because there's kind of
you can. That's
back.
Correct. You can join the club, but you can't race with other people. You can go into their convoy, as I think is the terminology.
Yeah, and this game it's a very interesting tutorial beginning. Because there's, in a sense, 2 tutorials to this game. There's the very first one that as soon as you start the game up, you adjust your settings for your visual settings, you pick a character, and it plops you kind of into the game, racing really quick to show you real fast, here's what summer's like, here's what winter's like, here's what fall's like, here's what autumn's like. And it all happens really quick. And then you kind of show up at the Forza Horizon Festival, and, the expectation is that at that point you're in the game and you're free. But the reality is at that point, the game then takes you to this kind of expanded tutorial that now walks you through having to earn your way through each season.
Yep.
And it slowly is introducing you to new things as well as it's doing this. So it'll introduce you to cross-country races. It'll introduce you to speed trap races. It'll introduce you to the big crazy moment races. And also it shows you how to buy cars. It shows you how to tune cars. It'll show you, and again, not things that you have to do.
You can dip in and out as much as you want. I mean, some of the stuff I came across, there's a whole series of 30 or 40 different chapters of you're doing movie stunts. You're making a movie.
I like the stunts. Yeah.
So this guy makes a movie. And the other thing that I opened up the other night is there's actually a business section in it as well. So I've bought. So this time you can buy houses. We'll get to that in a second. But this time I've bought a car rental business. I had like a hypercar rental business. So I earn income every day from it, and it expands, and you can develop that hypercar rental business as well. So there's tons and tons of stuff still. It's an onion with layers,
Yes. No joke. It does have a lot of layers to it. It is a very big, deep game. If we're going to talk about some negatives, I think the one negative I would say is, and this is every open world game. Almost every open world game suffers through map clutter. And once you start getting into this game proper, when you open up that map screen,
it's Assassin's Creed-esque.
It's Assassin's Creed-esque. There's a gajillion icons on there of different races that you can join, and it feels a little overwhelming. But that's also the beauty of the tutorial that they walk you through of earning each season, because they slowly start adding icons to the map as you're going through that. So you kind of get a sense for how they're evolving on your map, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. And so you'll learn that you can focus in on certain types of races, and you can kind of ignore some of the other icons. You don't have to, Marcanix is going to be sitting there looking at every icon thinking I have to complete them all.
Oh yeah, me too.
Me, I look at certain icons and I'm like, I don't really enjoy those type of races, so I'm just ignoring them. I'm focusing on the stuff that I like.
So again, you dip in and out. Okay, so negative and positive. Real mega positive. Kim, you're playing this because it's with your Xbox Game Pass. That is a very, very, very big positive right there.
I agree.
A $60 game for the basic sort of package. I would have always bought the VIP thing and spent £100 on it, but I haven't this time. I held back, and so what? I didn't get to pay it 3 or 4 days earlier. That doesn't really matter. What I have bought, I bought the VIP thing, which was about £6. That allows me to get double credits and some extra cars and a little VIP badge. Okay. The other thing that I'm disappointed in is I bought the James Bond pack. No.
Yes.
Okay, so this is minor, and maybe something will change with this. Maybe. So you can go and buy 7 or 8 James Bond cars, and you buy the Lotus that went underwater. You bought there's another is it an Aston Martin?
Aston Martin. There's a Jaguar.
So the original DB4 or 5 or whatever it is, and it was sort of misleading in the trailers for this that you could activate the gadgets, and you can, but only in the view mode. You can't drive these cars and activate the fins in the White Lotus to go through the water, or you can't put the skis in the snow level, which would have been brilliant. Now, yes, I know the Lotus also fired missiles at the back of it, and the DB5 had machine guns. That's not going to be part of this game. How would they ever implement that? But it would have been lovely to have some of those little things. We've got avatars. Why not have an avatar in your little DB5? It's in the passenger seat that you can eject them as a little funny thing. That would have been fun. Or there could have been things. There could have been more. I feel a bit. It's nice to have the cars, but I feel a little bit cheated with that.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, Robin. And you know this for me reaching out to you. I was asking you, how do I activate the powers in these cars? Because I had seen, in the preview of the DLC pack, I saw the Lotus transform into the submarine car. So I naturally thought, okay, I can take this out onto. There's a big lake in this car. So I thought I could drive this car out into the lake. And there's no button for activation, so I was like, well, maybe it just does it automatically. So I drove my Lotus out into the lake, and I got maybe, a quarter of the way into the lake, and the car is slowly but surely sinking, and I'm like, okay, it's going to activate any second. And no, the car eventually just sunk, and it popped me back on shore.
Yeah, that
is disappointing.
I think, as I said in Twitter or WhatsApp or whatever it was the other night, if we're complaining about that for a game like this, which looks pretty flawless as far as bugs and other bits and pieces are concerned, this size, we're doing pretty well. If you get upset about that, so be it.
The game, the proper game is fantastic, and I don't really find much flaw with the game, other than maybe the map screen being a bit overwhelming at times when you're looking at it. Outside of that, it handles great. Looks great. It sounds great. It delivers on everything a racing game should. Yeah. They handle progression, I think, well. There's different things that you level. So influence, and this is maybe one other area of negativity that I'll get to, but influence is kind of one of the currencies of this game. So you level your character in terms of the character themselves. You level cars individually, by the way.
Yeah, that's right.
Which I found very interesting. Yeah. And then in leveling, what I mean is you'll get some perks that you will be able to unlock for the cars. They're not really performance enhancing in any way, but they'll do some different things in terms of how quickly you earn money, or being able to. I'm trying to think right now of some of the different perks that you unlock for the cars.
Stuff like that there.
Yeah.
And the things, if you chain things together, you get more time for them to break off. My favorite car at the moment is, I won this fantastic. You can win these super spins, and you get these cars that are souped up to no end, and some of them are unbelievably fast, ridiculously fast. And I won a VW camper van, one of the old 1960s, 70s one of those, and I put Scooby-Doo, the mystery wagon, graphics on it, and I'm driving this around like that. I have and my horn is a Windows 98 shutdown sound. And it's super ridiculous. So I think I was playing with Mark the other night, and we were doing that. You were on with us, Greg, and we were doing the Halo thing, and there's a drag strip on the beach beside it. And I said, look, and he was in this big fancy BMW, and he came and laughed at me in my little van. I said, look, well, let's do a drag race. And I went like mad away from him. So yeah, there's craziness and there's silliness, and it's Anyway, we're waxing lyrical. I think the big bonuses here are Xbox Game Pass is a thing. God Almighty, that is a system. It has to be with 4K. That's a system seller. Damn it, the quality that and value you're getting out of Xbox Game Pass for your 120 quid or whatever it is a year. That's 2 games.
Well, Yeah, and let's talk about that real quickly. So, I think this game, quite honestly, was important for Microsoft on multiple fronts. It was important for Microsoft, obviously, to have a good first-party game come out with really good review scores, because they've struggled with that this past year. And the other component to it was, the previous games that came out with Game Pass were Sea of Thieves and State of Decay 2, which are decent games, but they're not Game of the Year contenders. They were, I don't want to say AA, but maybe that's the best way to describe them, AA quality games.
Okay.
And so a lot of people were questioning Microsoft's plan with Game Pass because, of course, Microsoft had said all first-party games were going to be coming to Game Pass. So a lot of comments were being made of, oh, well, yeah, they're going to include all these, these lower tier games into Game Pass day one. So the value isn't really going to be there because you're not getting, really good AAA games with Game Pass either. So this game kind of helps answer that question of, yes, Microsoft is going to be making AAA quality level games that are going to be included day one in Game Pass. It answers that question in spades. And so this also solidified the value of Game Pass, in my opinion. It said, hey, you're getting something that's going to give you good games, not just Microsoft first-party games. It's going to give you other games, but most importantly, you're getting Microsoft first-party games day one, and you can game share with this. That's the other little tidbit out there, folks. If you don't know this,
and PC game share.
Game Pass,
and crossover.
Game Pass does work with game share. So if you're game sharing with somebody else, only one of you needs to subscribe to Game Pass. You both will get it. So,
how this is working?
Ways to save money as gamers.
How this is working in our house right now? Okay, so one Xbox Live account. I have two Xbox Ones, and Charlie has his PC in his room. Joshua has his PC in his room, and I have this PC here. Okay, so right now, we can play that in all 5 locations. So some of the boys can be behind me on the Xbox, in the house on the Xbox. Joshua can play it at the same time. Charlie can play at the same time, and I can sit here on this rig playing it as well, all with the one account with their sub Xbox Live accounts. Well, that's wow. So there you go. So if you have kids, that's it. I mean, it's funny. I was playing with Stanley, Fraser's son, last night, and he was saying, "Yeah, Dad's downloading it on the PC now as well." So that's where that's happening. So great. Yeah,
well, that's what Microsoft wants. For sure.
Worth playing, and you don't have to tell already. That will be up there in my definite top of the pointy bits of the games of the year for me. Anyway, so there we go. We've been rattling along like that for ages. So let's get moving on.
Forza Horizon 4, it's good. Get it. If you don't already have it, it's well worth your time. All right. I think it's time for a quiz.
All right, now everybody get settled. Get away from the windows. Now look, good. It's time for the quiz. Yeah, you know what? Oh, too bad. Tough.
I don't have that on one.
I like that better.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that now.
Okay, let's quiz up.
All right, guys. Let me...
Thanks. Greg Delisi on the show notes where we put our answers has called me R-tit. Thank you. Yeah, well, funny, when I go away on holidays, many a hotel place or when I go away in business and it's a different country, they would call me Mr. Tate. So, yeah.
Mr. Tate.
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Tate.
All right. Kim, Greg, and Mr. Tate, are we ready?
Yes,
All right.
Edie.
Quote number 1. And I'm sorry, guys. I just didn't have a lot of time this weekend, so they kind of are.
Okay. That's all right.
Either way.
By the way, this is. We should real quick qualify what we're doing right now. We're doing a quiz called "Who's Said It Best." Nicole, you spend hours tirelessly scouring games to find quotes, sometimes just minutes, but you find quotes and you bring it out there for us to basically hear the quote and then we get choices, multiple choice options on who said that quote. We have to figure it out. We give our answers, and there is a 1 million Russian ruble prize fund for the winner of this.
Fuck.
Yes, Mark Canix has that stashed away in his mattress.
Oh, dear
1 million
God.
Russian rubles.
I don't want it.
No,
Yeah.
me neither.
Well, I'm glad I'm making up the quizzes.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Maybe we'd like to start the
So-
quiz again.
Yeah, no, we're good.
We haven't started it yet.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Because power went out there, flicked out, and Greg is massive head again.
Actually, I don't even.
Oh, yeah,
I
he is. Holy
see.
crap.
Yeah. Why are you massive?
Oh,
again?
that's
I
cute.
am.
I see Robin coming up from his desk. That was hilarious.
Yes.
And then, yes, I just see the top of Greg's head.
Why does that skip
All right. Well, we can move on. You have a nice view of the Gears of War picture.
Yeah.
Here, I'll
Yeah,
shift that.
we're good.
Okay.
All right. Oh my God, that's his elbow. All right, listen
Yep,
up, bitches.
that is his elbow.
Working on it.
Here we go. Quiz time.
Okay. Who votes we stay inside for a while? Who said it best? A. Marcus, B. JD, or C. Dell? Okay, who votes we stay inside for a while? So Marcus is A, JD is B, and Dell is C.
Hmm.
This is sad. I can tell you
So I
exactly
need
where
your answers after 3. 3.
That was a dick move, Robin. It was a dick move.
Yeah, I can do the 3, 2, 1 thing without sound effects.
Okay. Fair enough.
Greg,
So
3, 2, 1, go. Yes, pick a
sorry.
freaking letter. Thank you.
Greg, is
God help.
your camera switched off?
Yeah, I was just trying to figure that one out myself.
Okay.
Skype is acting.
See, it's Skype today.
Yeah,
it's
thank
being
you.
weird. It's always
All
weird,
right,
though.
girls and boys.
Fucking Windows
So,
98.
Robin, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to take any points you get away if you don't quit that shit. Alright, so we have Kim with C. She says Dell. Greg with B. JD. And Mr. Tit has also B.
Mhm.
JD. And the correct answer is not Kim's.
I figured that, but
Ooh.
well, I stay ahead of Mark.
Yep, but it is Greg's and it is Robin's. But Robin
Excellent.
doesn't get a point. He can fuck off. I'm just kidding. No, so Greg gets one and Robin gets one. Ooh, I
Excellent.
just called him Rit.
Mhm.
He went for a
Yeah. So Robin, interesting predicament with Skype at the moment. It's not letting me access the settings at all.
No, we're going because we're in the
So-
call. That's why.
Wow. So like my face is in 2 different screens.
It is.
That's extra scary for anybody watching.
Yeah, working on it.
Oh wait, hold on.
Okay.
Well, here's an interesting development.
America. And I'll write this down. Write this down, Robin. Write this down. Write it down. Write it down. Because it's at
Share a contact. What in God's name is going on with Skype?
30th.
This
God
little
bless.
thing.
I know. This is now I can't see anybody.
Dun,
All right.
dun, dun, dun.
Okay, I got an answer right on the quiz. That's the
You
most
did!
important thing here.
Got
Excellent.
a point.
Yes, I am now Murphy's Law.
Yeah, I know that. I'm
I'm
working on it.
excited about this.
Yeah, I didn't want you. Would you want 2 of you or 1 of you? Oh,
No,
oh.
one of me, I'd rather be him than 2 of me because it was just my chin and then like the top quarter of my face,
Mm.
the left side. So I'm good with, well, it's still mostly my chin, but whatever. I'm not gonna argue.
This is just amazing.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So-
God bless Windows and their destroying of Skype. All right, continue on.
Thank you. So this is a conversation, and you have to decide between the two people.
Okay.
The two people.
The two people. However, I made it easy. So,
Okay.
all right. So, the first person says, better load up on ammo. Oh, do you think we'll need it? Yes, unless your Lancer runs on smartass. So, is it A, Marcus and Dell, B, Marcus and JD, or C, Marcus and Baird?
I think I know the answer on this.
Wait, what did you do?
Sorry.
All I hear is moaning.
Oh, dear.
I know, right? I'm so worried.
Well, it's not me, so, you know.
All right.
Okay. Remember these
Read it
answers?
again, or are we ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Ready?
All right, answers in 3,
3,
2,
2,
1.
2. Ooh. Oh, Greg, was there D?
There was no D. Greg's dyslexic.
It's the last one.
That would be C.
Yes.
All right. So all of you have picked the same answer, which is C,
Mhm.
Marcus and Baird.
I love
And all
Baird.
of you are wrong.
I figured.
Oh.
Wow,
I
wow.
worked
Ah, come on.
It is Marcus and his son.
Nah. I was thinking it was that one or the other one, so.
And I made these easy, people. Come on.
But I haven't played 3 Gears 4 yet, so, you know. I know.
No excuses.
I know.
You've had plenty of opportunity.
Well, I hope I still have some, because I plan to get to it at some point, you know.
Take it away. All right. Third and final quiz question, quote, whatever we're doing, because I'm tired. Bitch stole my bot.
Yeah, baby.
Really?
Yes, bitch stole my bot. Who said it best? PB from Mass Effect Andromeda, Gage from Borderlands 2, or Diva from Overwatch. So, bitch stole my bot, A, PB, B, Gage, or C, Diva.
Okay, I'm ready.
I'm
I'm ready.
Windows is doing some weird shit.
Right?
Okay, I need your answers in 3, 2, 1. Boys, pay attention.
Getting there.
Wow. I love you guys.
What?
A lot.
Okay.
Love you too.
Love you long
All
time.
right, so we have 2 B's and a C.
It's the BBC.
It is the BBC. Well, in this instance, the BBC is incorrect.
Yeah, well.
Wow, wow.
It was
gone with
PB
ABC?
from Mass Effect Andromeda.
Oh.
So not a damn one of y'all got a point.
That's alright. Mark didn't get any either.
Oh, well, yeah, that's the thing.
There's that. So Greg and Robin each got 1 point, so I'll fix here at the bottom.
All right.
She is not a cheater.
No, I am not. At least not when it comes to quizzes. Anyway.
I have no idea what's going on with Skype right now, just for the record.
Right?
No,
Oh,
there you go.
my
What do you
whole
do?
computer is acting really weird. Like it's flashing Skype on and off.
Right.
So
Okay,
anyway,
There's only one thing to
I
do.
will tell you that right now Kim is still in the lead with 13 points.
Woo!
Greg now has 8. Robin now has 7. Mark
How much
is in second with 10. Phil has 2. Gary
Yeah, it's time to break out the whiskey.
Yep.
Who's snorting?
Sorry.
Oh, who wrote that on the show notes?
I wasn't me.
Okay, and Rich also has 2. So Kim's still in the lead.
Yay.
Mark may not ever catch up. Greg
Yep.
and Robin are pretty much neck and neck, and still Rich and Gary are fighting for last place.
Yep.
Excellent.
All right.
I think we just need to push on. Drive on. What can you do?
We do. All right. So news, Robin. We have a news jingle.
We do. Greg DeLacy's popping back. There he is.
I don't know. I may pop back in. I may not.
Yeah,
Who
you're
knows?
back. You're back.
It's going to come back off in a second. I guarantee it.
No.
Anyway, all right. The news. We had a few news stories from this past week that I thought were worth at least bringing up. First one, which is around Telltale's The Walking Dead game. We know Telltale has basically kind of gone under. They basically shut the studio down. Many people were kind of speculating what was going to happen with the final season of The Walking Dead.
Are you okay, Greg?
No, I'm choking to death. I'm very broken up over this. So there had been conversations around, a few people were going to stay on board with Telltale to finish the game out. And then that kind of started to become speculative because they had even more layoffs. But now it's come to bear that Robert Kirkman's studio is going to finish the Telltale Walking Dead game. And if you're not familiar with who Robert Kirkman is, he's the actual creator of The Walking Dead. So I think this actually is a good development, at least for finishing the game. Obviously, this does not really do anything to help Telltale out, but for those of you wanting the final season to actually finish out and carry on, it will happen. They will get that done, and that's going to be through Robert Kirkman. So at least there's a little bit of a silver lining for that. And he did mention that they are working with a lot of original development team members to try and bring them in to help finish the story out as well. So hopefully some people can find some work in the interim.
Yeah, we talked about this last week, and it is a crappy situation. So,
yes, absolutely. Speaking of working related situations, Blizzard's CEO and president Mike Morhaime is stepping down. Ooh. So he has basically been with Blizzard since it was founded, 1991. He was there, and he's now stepping down in his role. He's going to stay on in an advisory role with Blizzard, but it looks like the VP of World of Warcraft, J. Allen Brack, is going to take over as president. And then Ray Gresko, who is basically from Overwatch and Diablo 3, he's going to step in as Chief Development Officer. And apparently they have a number of projects also going on. So.
Okay. All right. Yeah, well, Blizzard. Oh, Blizzard.
Yeah. Blizzard. And then finally, this was an interesting one for me because I got the notification, Google Project Stream. If you haven't heard about this, this is, in a sense, Google's play into the console gaming space. And it's really not a device at all. What this is Google is launching out a beta, actually, that started on October 5th. It's a limited beta right now, but they are looking to basically allow AAA games to be played on laptop or PC through what they're calling a stable, no-lag streaming service, basically through Chrome. So it's going to be through your browser. They're claiming you're going to, and they've shown Assassin's Creed Odyssey streaming at 1080p, 60 frames per second. And that the only real qualification to be able to get games running at this level is having an internet connection of 25 megabits or higher.
Yeah, there's quite a few things at EGX this year, like setups like this. Okay, I know this is Google, it's big, but there's quite a few services like this where you could rent a machine or rent a server, and you still bought the games. So it wasn't. Some of them were. I've seen this here before. This idea of the full streaming, but this one is sort of you rent a really really powerful machine. You still buy Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but when you install it from Steam, it gets installed at the server bank, and that's a really really powerful machine. And then you stream from there to your machine at home, and so it could be you have a crappy machine at home. And same sort of idea. So yeah, okay, it's coming. I still think it's I mean, look at me, right, and my internet connection. where I was 2 years ago, and even though it's unorthodox, the way I'm getting it through a 4G connection rather than fiber, what I'm doing here, badly or not, just wasn't possible a year and a half ago. So the technology is getting better, and but I still think it's early days. But I think that's the way it's going. Just like, I like buying discs. I love having discs. I love the new smell when I open the plastic, and it's fantastic. And now, how many of us buy discs? Not too many. It's falling away. So maybe this don't go nah, this will never happen. But I think this is going to happen. Your TVs at home will come pre-installed with your gaming apps, and you pay for your service and.
Gaming is definitely going the service direction without a doubt.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll see though. The one thing is, this was the promise, of OnLive, and also the promise of PS Now.
Yeah.
In terms of streaming,
Mm-hmm.
you don't need hardware. You just need a connection to it.
Okay. Cool. Watch this space.
We'll see. All right, we do have a couple emails, Robin.
Excellent.
That's it for the news, by the way. We do have a couple emails. Simon Kempster has been apparently emailing us a few different times, but he forwarded these to me in the podcast email and said, here, let's see if these get through to you this time. So apparently he was trying to send it to a different email address that was not working. So apologies, Simon, but we do have your emails now.
Ooh.
So here we go. First email, this is actually back from September 14th, to give you an idea of how far back this was. Yes.
Holy moly.
But again, we just saw these today, in all fairness. Hi all, it's been a while, so I thought I'd drop you a line. First off, a couple of entries for victories achieved. The first one is the Crew 2. Took me over 2 months and more than 50 hours. He said, but I have the Platinum Trophy. I enjoyed the game, getting the hang of the different types of vehicles, and I'm looking forward to the Gator Rush free expansion later this month, featuring hovercraft racing. Secondly, and from one extreme to the other, Super Destronaut DX, a fun little Space Invaders clone that I got the Platinum Trophy for just 22 minutes. That's not a typo. It was really 22 minutes to get the Platinum Trophy. Well done on both those accounts, by the way. It says, most of my gaming time has recently been taken over by the Crew 2, but now that that's out of the way for a while, I've got a chance to get to something else. Burnout Paradise Remastered will probably be there somewhere. I have the Platinum Trophy already, but I'm going to complete the game I'm going to complete the game to 100% before I claim victory achieved. By the way, that is not a requirement of victory achieved.
Mm-hmm.
You do not have to 100% complete a game in terms of trophy lists. You just need to complete the game. So
thank God, I'd never have a victory achieved.
Exactly. That is like an ultra victory achieved. It says, and I've got it on PC too. I couldn't resist at only $4.49. I own the original PC version already. I said there may be some more Forza Horizon 3 in the near future too. The imminent release of Forza Horizon 4 has rekindled my interest, and I have to do. So I still have a lot to do in Forza Horizon 3. I tried the demo of Forza Horizon 4 too, which looks fabulous, and it's a nice change to have a racing game set in the UK. I think we all agree there. I said though the cars all still seem to be left-hand drive. So anyway, the demo looks like it's fabulous and runs great on my PC, which I should hope it would, as it's got an AMD Ryzen 7 1700X CPU, NVIDIA GTX 1070 GPU, and 16 gigabytes of RAM. PC power. He says I've had a year and it wasn't cheap, but damn, the games do look good on it. And apologies, Simon, for my horrible reading right now. I'm choking right now, apparently. Anyway, I expect I'll get Forza Horizon 4 at some point. Not today. Not day one. I'll wait for a sale. Plenty to play in the meantime. And that is true. more so than ever. I think if you have a backlog of games, don't feel the rush to get the new and shiny all the time.
Definitely.
Make your purchases count and get the value out of that. So he signed off his PSN ID cosign, in case you or Kosigan, depending upon how you want to say that.
Yeah,
yeah, head Chefalon. All right. Email number 2. This was sent on Saturday, September 15th. So just days later, apparently. Said, hi. It looks like I'll be doing my impression of the bus this week. 2 quick things. Firstly, it looks like I spoke too soon about the cars in Forza Horizon 4. Some of them are right-hand drive, the correct side for the country.
Yeah.
I may even have to break my usual habit of using the chase cam view and try the cockpit view for the fully authentic experience. Secondly, is anyone else interested in the recently announced the Grand Tour game? So if you're not familiar with the Grand Tour, this is the guys that used to be on. Help me out, Robin.
Top Gear.
Thank you.
Yep.
So it says it's being made by Amazon Game Studio, where Craig Sullivan was made creative director last year. He used to work at Criterion, where he worked on Burnout Paradise. I, for one, think the game is worth a look for that reason, if not.
yeah, I'd love it.
If nothing else,
but I'm skeptical. It's not just a cash in.
Yeah.
How serious these guys are taking it,
Yeah, hard to say. I mean, the show absolutely screams game because it's in a sense kind of what Forza Horizon was built around.
No, I can see it as a funny game, doing some of the stupid stuff that they do. Do a tongue-in-cheek game rather than trying to do a racer or adventure game like Forza Horizon. Take some of their silly things like build a bridge over the river sort of thing, or jump a car over a river.
Right.
I could see that. So I'm interested.
I'm cautiously optimistic.
There you go.
Amazon so far though hasn't really been a force in gaming. Even though they bought some studios, they really haven't put forward anything that has been truly AAA quality. So we'll see.
Cool, thank you.
Anyway, he said, "Keep on going. Keep on gaming, guys and gals." So there we go.
Simon.
Thank you, Simon.
Lovely to get emails, isn't it? It's really nice.
It is. Even if they're 2 weeks old.
Yeah.
Sorry again, Simon. We will do our best to check often, and of course, if you are emailing the podcast, we'll double check the email link.
Yeah, it's work. Yeah, it is fine. It is. You just have to use it.
Yep.
And we'll visit it again. Anyway, technical stuff. Okay.
All right. New releases. Kim, if you could take over here.
Sure.
It's dying.
Alrighty. The new releases for October 6th through the 12th are Disgaea 1 Complete for the PS4 and Switch on October 9th. We have WWE 2K19 for the PS4 and Xbox One and PC, also on the 9th. The Occupation for the PS4, Xbox One and PC, also on the 9th. The Occupation of what? I don't know, but whatever. The Occupation. Mark of the Ninja Remastered for the PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on the 9th. Ooh. Child of Light for the Switch on the 11th. We have Luigi's Mansion for the 3DS on the 12th. The World Ends With You, and with you, and you, and you. Final Remix for the Switch on October 12th. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC, also on the 12th.
I don't think anybody's going to buy that game.
I won't, but that's not really the point.
Against my hopes and desires, I think that game is going to sell really well.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it's not that I'm a Call of Duty hater. I don't want Activision to just keep kind of pushing out iterations after iterations. I want them to take a break. Give us a break from this.
Right?
Again, I go back to EGX.
Exactly.
I'm back to EGX, and it had a small stand, a third of the normal stand. So, Fortnite is it, Destiny.
Yeah.
Those things are out there. So, anyway.
All right. Hey, Robin.
Yeah.
There's this thing called Victories Achieved.
Is there?
Have you ever heard of it?
Yes, Victories Achieved. Okay, so as Greg had mentioned earlier on, you finish a game, okay? You finish a game to the credits when the writing goes up at the end, and we encourage you to do that because it's really cool. Because you're getting the value out of your game. And what you do is you take a lovely, sexy photograph of yourself with the writing, even if you can't read the writing, but if you take that photograph with that writing in the background, and then you tweet it off to @OC_podcast with a hashtag victory achieved, and we'll enter you into a draw to win some money. Like last week, Danik Lewis, he won for finishing Firewatch way back in July, and and do you know what he's asked us to do? He's asked us to give his money to Extra Life when Extra Life is on. So that's very nice, very generous of you, Luis. So you win $20 or £15 for PSN, XBL, Nintendo, Steam, whatever you want. We'll get it sorted. And the people that finished games this week are Denok Lewis. He finished Need for Speed Payback. Caliburn M finished Demon Souls. God help him. Hardly Dan finished Assassin's Creed Origins. John Mouse finished Bound, and Roberto Starr finished Gears of War co-op with who? Who did he co-op with?
My dog.
Very, very good.
Well,
Talented dog.
And
yes, he's awesome.
for finishing those games, you get this, not the normal, because I don't have that on my soundboard, I've just realised. So,
thank you very much. Love it.
there you go.
Denied the victory achieved.
Oh, you have to do it live.
If only there was a way you could remedy that.
no wonder.
Go on, do it.
You have won a victories achieved. A victories achieved. You have won a victories achieved.
There you go. He's the star of the show. Top billing.
I don't know about that.
Oh, yeah, one thing you forgot.
all right.
One thing you forgot. Wednesday evening, 9 o'clock UK time. You can work it out. I will be playing Forza Horizon 4. And I'll be setting up a convoy, rubber ducky, and we're going to do some races and have some fun and play some online games. So if you're around Wednesday, I'll be on nearly every night anyway, but Wednesday, 9 o'clock UK, for at least an hour and a half, drop in. If you see me online, jump into the convoy, jump into the party, have a bit of fun. I'm not saying there's going to be anything really official organised races, but we're going to have a whiz around the countryside and do silly stuff. So 9 o'clock this Wednesday coming, Forza Horizon 4, Convoy. Yeah, there you go.
See, I hear whiz around the countryside, and I just think of peeing in the snow.
Yeah,
Right?
Well, you know, it keeps the hunters away, you know?
All right. Look, if you are listening to this point, thank you for listening so far. I know this was a show that had a little bit of a late start, but we got there.
13 minutes.
Despite Skype wanting to mess with us, we have forged through.
Yep.
But you can check out the craziness that is our weekly podcast broadcast. Wow, that
was good.
9 p.m. in the UK, 1 p.m. in the West Coast, 4 p.m. on the East Coast, 6 p.m. on Easter Island. I keep saying it because it's there. It's on twitch.tv/OC podcast, mixer.com/OC podcast, youtube.com/Overseas Connection podcast. And that, of course, again, is on Sunday at those times. So come check it out. If you can't check us out live and you say, you know what, I'm better off listening to the really hyper edited, more streamlined version of the podcast, you are welcome to do that on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Google Play, wherever you can find a podcast. You should be able to find our podcast. Finally, before we hear the lovely audio coming up, clubs. We have lots of clubs. If you want to play on the Xbox with us, go check out OC Podcast Club. If you want to be on our PS4 community, it's OC Podcast Community. If you want to be on Steam because you're a PC Master Race guru, check out OC Podcast Group on Steam. And lastly, if you're on the dying platform called Discord, because we all know it can't possibly be the future, it is OC Podcast Server on Discord. Check us out there. We would love for you to come and join us. That being said, Robin, take it away.
You like us. we like you. See where I'm going with this? Follow us on Twitter at OC_podcast. Check us out on Facebook, fb.ocpod.com, or email us, podcast@ocpod.com. We'd love to hear from you.
Thank you very much. Love it.
By the way, Nicole, as that was playing, you did one of these moments.
Yeah. I'm so
and
happy.
it was just kind of perfect.
Because I was listening and I'm over here laughing at myself because I'm like, it sounds like I did that in a black negligee.
Did you not?
Well,
I was in jeans and a t-shirt. I assure you.
Well, with that little tidbit being thrown out there, why don't we start off some shout-outs and wrap this show up? We've gone very long.
Yeah, sorry.
Kim, why don't you start off?
Well, first things first, I suppose I should shout out our shatters, and there's been a few for surprisingly as quiet as it's been, but they weren't really chatting, but they were there watching the show, so I guess it works.
Stalkers.
We had, right, RCGC, Empower, Gunslinger X, Skinny Seahorse, Slow Cool, Subcentral.net, Not47Y, Banana Nanan, Commander Root, Zane Kyber, and Positivity Bot.
Hello.
So, yeah.
Cool.
Other than
Thanks
that,
for watching.
Yeah, exactly.
Banana Man, I like that name. That's cool.
But Banana Nanan, yeah. I want to shout out you guys, and it's always fun, even when my webcam doesn't freaking work. Because right now, you don't know it, but I was podcasting without pants. So there you go.
Missed opportunity.
That's a uniform.
There's always a payoff somewhere. But no, seriously, it's always fun podcasting with you guys. It's why I'm still here. So thanks for that. Mother Nature, get your act together, figure it out. Or are we gonna be cold and freezing to death, or are we gonna get rained out, or what the hell's going on with the weather? Yeah. Other than that, I guess that's about it. So what about you there, Nicole?
Well, you can, I guess, email me at nicole@ocpod.com if I ever remember to check the email.
Oh, right.
I know. Or message me on Twitter at OC_Amaryllis. And then there's always Amaryllis on the PlayStation 4, which I haven't been on very much lately. I still need to move it into my living room. And Amaranth on the Xbox. I also have Amaryllis on the Xbox, but I don't ever use that account either. But anyway, thanks to Sarah for her excellent audio and visual QC, since she is now our new QC, our tech.
Yeah.
Our audio visual tech comes in, checks, makes sure she can see and hear, and then runs off to have the rest of Thanksgiving in Canada. So special shout out to her. Also, a little shout out to our OC Podcast Alliance, who have been very kind and fun and chatty on that Rise of Civilizations game. Shout out also to NO2 for not killing us, and C@1 for not killing us. We appreciate that. Always to you guys, it's always fun. And Robin, absolutely love you and thank you for being such a good sport. Well, we give you so much shit.
Yep.
Exactly.
You do.
We do it because you get so stressed out, and we need the comedy relief.
I wasn't stressed. I was actually very calm this week.
I was like, just know we love you, okay?
Do you know what? The therapy every week helps, Nicole.
Group therapy.
I'll send you 20 quid to pay.
I sit down and I go, "What did you do this week?" So that's what my therapist says. That's the first thing she says. What did you do this week?
So all that pain in my shoulder isn't from the little doll that you have in the pins.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's my doll.
Okay, so I'm Robin Tate. You'll get me at Bongo the Sane. Follow my travels. See me on Facebook at Robin Tate, and on YouTube. I want to say hello to Mark. Mark hasn't been feeling great the last couple of days. We haven't seen much of him, so I hope that's feeling better. Phil and his wife are on the Titanic or the Poseidon. I'm not quite sure which one it is. They're having quite an adventure, felting their way around. Phil is the entourage for his wife. and carrying her little bag around the place and being a good little boy and not getting drunk and spending all their money at the casino. So hopefully you guys will be back in full fighting form in a week or so. We'll see you out there, and thanks very much, you guys, for making it all possible. Indeed, if it wasn't for yous, we wouldn't be doing this. Oh, sorry, that's what Kim says. Damn. Indeed. Okay. I'll see you soon. Greg.
All right. Thanks to the three of you. Always fun having a chat with you on Sunday. Good to be back on the podcast. So thanks to you. Thanks to the listeners and the viewers, whatever category you fall into. We do appreciate you being part of the community. And speaking of community, big important thing that we need to talk about.
Ooh, yeah.
Extra Life. Yeah. It is coming up. It is around the corner in November. This is something that is near and dear to my heart. I know it's near and dear to Robin's heart to certain levels as well. Even though it's supporting levels? American hospitals.
What levels? How do you know by levels? Well, it's unbelievable.
I'm making an assumption here because I know they stopped supporting UK specific hospitals, as it's all in the States right now. So it's a good cause, regardless. That's the important thing to take out of it.
I'll be raising money for charity.
It's money for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. We have a number of us that are going to be participating this year. Go find us, look us up go to extralife.org, check out the site, do a search for the vghub.net team, and then you can find us on there. Give whatever you can give. Again, this is going to the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. It's an important thing. Again, near and dear to our hearts, because we all have had interaction with kids in need. And this is not just myself and Robin. This is Nicole. She works with special needs kids a lot. This is Kim. She is a person that has a big heart. And I was going to call you special anyway, Kim, but that's just me lovingly say I love you.
Cool.
But anyway, so it affects all of us, and so take part in it this year, whether you're actually doing the event or you could just donate, even if it's just $5.
Yep.
Just make a difference. This really is an important thing.
And if you can't do that, if you can't, seriously, some people can't, and I understand. But if you're there and you see us online over that 24 hours and you're in a different time zone and you're around at 5 a.m, jump into the stream, please, or any time.
Jump into the stream, hours. Jump into the chat, whatever.
Last year was fantastic.
Give us the support. It really helps.
Yes.
It does.
That helps
Indeed.
a
All
lot.
right, that's it. I'm done. We're done. Start that funky music, Robin.
Thank you for listening to the Overseas Connection podcast. See you same time next week.